I know we've talked a little bit about the Angel Network, but this is
Yes,
the
I'd like
Angel
to-
Network works in this area. So the Angel Network are basically individuals that have, for the most part, because you need to have a certain financial status, you need to be an accredited investor. So in order to be an angel, which is a government regulation, and so you have to have a fair amount of money to be an angel in order to invest in companies. And because of that, typically you're farther on in your career because it's taking you a while to make that money up. And so what we basically have is some older individuals that are part of the Angel Network, and what they're doing is investing back in a lot of the young companies. And so to your point earlier, by taking a population which is older, which typically has a bit more money, and combining it with younger people that have all the passion and drive and energy but no money, and getting those two groups to come together. And that's really what the Angel Network is trying to foster, is taking and the money isn't just money, right? The money comes with mentorship and leadership and experience. So think of experience, money meets young, energetic individuals. Put those two things together, and I think you got a great recipe for potential success. And we're seeing it. I mean, we've got the numbers from our last year. I mean, that's the success of those entrepreneurs. I mean, we talk about how we've created this environment, but ultimately it's the entrepreneurs and the investors that took the risk and drove those organizations and created those jobs.
So with regards to the Angel Network, like I was kind of surprised to hear about this when it doesn't come up naturally in conversation when you're talking about entrepreneurship necessarily with other entrepreneurs in town. But we went to the accountant the other day and we're with Cody and James and they're like, well, the Angel Network is actually pretty incredible in Peterborough. They say that there's a lot of backing there, and there's a lot of power in that Angel Network, more than you'd expect when you're sort of driving around. And so what is the Angel Network? What do you do? So
I've been part of the Angel Network since 2009, 2010.
Okay.
At that time, we had sort of 9 members. So now we're about 35 to 40. It kind of fluctuates a little bit depending on the time of the year. But basically, they're individuals that want to invest back into companies and make a return. So it's not philanthropic in the sense that they're not donations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, many of the angels also have a philanthropic side. But the purpose of the Angel Network is to find investments that have a potential so that the angels can invest. But the model is that you're hoping that sort of 3 out of the 10 investments are successful, so way more risk than a bank ever would have. But obviously the ones that are successful have enough return to cover all the losses that you made on the ones that weren't. But basically we have a unique set of angels here because I've been to different angel networks. So people in Peterborough very much are investing back into Peterborough. And so the reason why not everyone's heard about it, and people hear about it more today than when I was an angel. You couldn't publish the list of who the angels are when I started. It was like this secret group because it was high net worth individuals that didn't necessarily want anybody to know that they were successful. A lot of them were business owners that still own businesses in Peterborough. And so there's always been this stigmatism around Peterborough, which is actually something I like, that you don't go around flaunting what your worth is. I've always said this, you can be in downtown Toronto and sit at a pub and there'll be a person that sits beside you that might have started a position in the mailroom or something 6 weeks earlier, but they're telling everyone in the pub that they've got 150 employees working for them. Yet in Peterborough we've got a number of entrepreneurs which have hundreds of employees working for them, and you'll see them picking up cornflakes at the grocery store, and they'll just in a regular clothes pair of jeans.
You see it all the time.
You see it all the time.
Yes.
And that's why I love it, this community, because we don't have the same type of personal flaunting that you get out of other companies. But because of that, the Angel Network at the beginning had some challenges getting people to know who they are, because it was this kind of like a group of people that didn't want anybody to know who they are, but they wanted people to know about them so they could get helped. When I became an angel after the sale of Operitel, I was in a unique position because I could talk about the fact that we were successful because unfortunately or fortunately, I was bought by a publicly traded company, and the purchase price of my company is a matter of public record. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people knew that we were successful, and so I became a bit of the spokesperson for the Angel Network because basically it was known that we'd made a significant amount of money when we sold the company, and so it wasn't a secret. I couldn't keep it a secret anyway. So because of that, people kind of came to me and said, hey, are you considering investing in my company? And then I would spin them over to the Angel Network. And then a lot of the angels, so 2 things happened. One, the Angel Network grew itself, and we had a lot more members. And the members who were there realized that there wasn't so much of a negative backlash about the fact that they were wealthy, and people, obviously, you have to be an accredited investor, so you have to have a certain amount of net worth in order to be an accredited investor. It wasn't such a big deal after all. And so because of those 2 things together, I think the network grew. But we've spent a lot of time promoting it. So we work a lot of times with individuals, and Eve LaFortune became on as our executive director for membership. I basically look after all the deal flow, and the two of us together are basically looking after getting more members and more deals, and they go hand in hand. If you have no good companies to invest in, membership drops off. If you have no members to invest, the companies don't bother coming to you because they never get funded. And so you have to have those two things. So the Angel Network acts like a marketplace and just brings investors and investees together, and has a structure. So we work very closely with the people presenting to do a good presentation for those investors so that within 30 minutes they can have a good handle on whether they're interested, and to create an environment for the investors so they want to be there. So one of the other things we did is, I decided to put together a dinner for all the, we used to just meet after dinner quietly in a boardroom at Peterborough Economic Development and it was sort of like you come in, listen to two presentations, and go home. There was no social side of it. There was nothing. And so the idea was, let's make it social.
No mixing.
Let's make it a social side of it. So now you come in at 5:30, have a drink, hang out with like-minded people. Then 6 o'clock the presentation start. You come for a nice dinner, and we basically have 2 to 3 presentations over this period of time. By 9 o'clock you go home. And so there's a social experience. So some of our angels are there because of the social side of it. But then they see great deals and they invest. So it's really bringing the two together. But they've helped a lot of, if you're in the startup tech company sector, Angel Networks is great. And then the other thing which people don't realize is because we're part of the AIO, which is Angel Investment Ontario, we can syndicate. So if you come and you get 10 angels from Peterborough that put $10,000 into your company. So you get a $100,000 injection. Now you can get syndicated across all the angel networks across Ontario. And because we invested in Peterborough, there's much more likely that other people are going to invest. So it's a bit of a viral effect as well. And if you're doing $1 million raise, you get 10 angel networks all to put in $100,000, and there's your $1 million worth of equity that you need.